Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to use the camera tool in Tvpaint. This is an establishing shot for my current animation project. I've added in some characters with a boiling line effect and cars using the keyframer tool, but I want to add a slow zoom to finish it off. To do that, I'll go to the camera tool in the main panel, and this coloured outline will appear around my canvas. I can click and drag the corners to make it larger or smaller, though I don't want to make it bigger than my canvas, as it'll render with a black border around it. I can rotate the camera like this if I need to, and right click on the center point, and from this menu either select Reset with Camera Value or Fit to Project to make sure it matches up. If you've got camera moves in other clips in your Tvpaint project, you can also copy the last point of previous clip or copy the first point of the next clip. To create the end point of the camera move, I'll click on the canvas and a new box will appear, and then I'll position the camera again. I've already defined how long my shot will be, so the camera move will last for the entire shot. I can play it through, previewing the move by making sure Play with Camera View is activated. If I stop it and turn it off, there will be no camera move. I can add more points along the camera's path by clicking and dragging them where I want them. And if I want to adjust the timing, I can go down to the camera tool settings and select the graph by time profile. I like to make this window bigger so I can more accurately plot the points. In this graph, the red line shows where the playhead is in the timeline, so I can use that as a reference to help add in extra points or show where my camera should start or stop the move. To change the start and end points of the camera move and alter the speed, I can click on the graph and drag the points to wherever I want them. I can reverse the start and end points of the camera move by selecting Flip X or Flip Y. I'll quite often switch from linear to spline when I'm making my points, as this will soften the curve and add an ease in or ease out, so the movement will start and end slowly. If you go to bin and then bin again, you can see lots of different presets to use with your animation. And you can make and save your own as well by adjusting the graph, and then selecting bin, add to bin. Once you name it and select OK, and then go back to your bin, you'll see it appear in your presets. Although Tvpaint has a camera shake tool in the FX stack, I've also used this graph with points like these to add impact to explosion animations. So to finish off this shot, I do want a very simple and slow camera move. I'm going to change linear to spline and then soften these edges. Now that's one way of adding a camera to your projects, but as Tvpaint currently only allows you to have one canvas size per project, any other dimensions you'd like to use for wider or taller shots can be made in a new project and then rendered to the normal size. I have a very wide shot for one of my current animations, and I want the camera to follow the character as they move across the screen. So to do this, I'm going to make a new project, and it's going to be a project with camera. So here you can choose your camera view, which will be what exports when you render your animation, and then on the right we have the drawing area. These are the dimensions for my background layer. I'll just hit new project, and this is what my canvas will look like. Now I'm just going to bring in my animation and background layers to this project. I'm going to make my first and last points of this camera move, just as I showed you before in the earlier example. Now I've set up the A and B position for the camera. At the moment, the move lasts for the entire shot, and actually I don't want that. I want it to be very quick. The camera has to follow this character from her seat over here to talking with these characters on the right. So I'm going to go to the time profile, and I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can map out my points. Now the camera shouldn't move until frame 38, so I'm just going to make a point and drag it down, and then she moves over here, but it's way too slow. So I actually want the camera move to only last until about frame 110. So I'm going to make another point and drag it up, and then if I play it through, it starts and stops very suddenly. So I'm going to change linear to spline. I'm going to go back and play it through again. Now just changing from linear to spline helped a lot, and I'm actually really happy with that camera move, so I'm going to keep that. As this shot isn't finished, there are some areas that are a little dark and I want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I can go down to display over here and untick show camera. This will get rid of the darker borders around these points. And if I move back to my regular drawing brush, the camera outlines will have disappeared. And I can easily turn it back on by going back to display and hitting show camera. If I go to window, show, display settings, I get this window here. I can change the opacity and the colour of the viewfinder, as well as the opacity and colour of the camera. If I want to change the format or add in safe area guidelines to the camera preview, I can do that by going to parameters in the tool menu and select this box. Press OK, and you can see these very faint lines around the camera. Once I'm happy with my camera move and animation, I'll want to render it. And I'll do that by going to File, Export to, and in this window I want to make sure that View is set to camera, and you can see the dimensions of the project have changed as well. As always, I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see more animations and tutorials from me, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Bye!